So I guess it's gonna explain us how it works. We're gonna watch it.
85 race is already finished, and it was finished in just under 3 hours since Cataclysm launched. And what went into
3
this
hours,
world first
man.
race is pretty crazy. It's an insane story, especially when you consider that Blizzard literally saw how fast this player was leveling and made it so that all of the mobs he was farming actually gave 0 experience.
Oh, so they literally stopped his farming method. They did not nerf it. They completely removed it from the game because it was so strong.
Right, they hotfixed his strategy not only once, but it actually happened twice. So let's break down exactly how he was able to pull off this insane race to world first. And at the end, there's a little bit of a snippet, something pretty great, because this was a redemption arc for LMGD because he put so much more effort into the level 80 race in Wrath of the Lich King and was on track to get that. But a similar situation happened where the world first actually went to Now, who was doing a farm very similar to this that did not get
he got his world first stolen from Wrath.
Let's dive into everything he did to pull off the world first race. So first of all, after trying to figure out where to level, what would be the fastest strategy, a friend suggested to LMGD that he check out Athene's leveling spot. This is where the world first happened back in original Cataclysm. Shout out to Athene. But LMGD was headed out to Twilight Highlands when he flew past this location, and he noticed these 7 mobs just kind of standing here and decided, what would happen if I just kill them? And lo and behold, they gave a decent amount of experience and they instantly respawned. This is a huge thing to note. Instant respawns and hyper spawns are massive for leveling races. So now he just needed to figure out if
just as a comparison,
the fastest way to level, because
we're getting 60,000 XP per quest. We're doing right now. Look at the XP, 7,000 per mob, and he kills them so fast.
They gave a decent amount of experience.
Look at the loot, man. Holy
this
shit.
Is a huge thing to note. Instant respawns and hyper spawns are massive for leveling races. So now he just needed to figure out if this was going to be the fastest way to level, because leveling in Deepholm is very, very powerful, and this was going to be the original plan. The only issue with leveling in Deepholm means you need to get to level 82 to be able to pull off some of those strats. So what he was doing instead was testing out what class would be the fastest to level right here. And while testing that, he actually leveled up and geared a Paladin and a Death Knight, both of which he got Shadowmourne on just to test.
Is he fucking crazy, man? What the fuck? He farmed 2 Shadowmourns just to test, and he finished with a fucking shaman, man. This guy's crazy, dude. He has lost his fucking mind. 2 Shadowmourne? Holy shit. He is dedicated. He absolutely deserved this rank 1. I don't even care what we think. Did he exploit? Whatever, man, this guy farmed his rank 1. Holy.
On the beta. And it wasn't until literally last week with the beta raid test that he realized that he might be able to pull this off on Shaman. And that's because of 2 major things. Now, the first thing is you can notice these mobs are alliance mobs. That's because they're tied to an alliance PvP event in general in the Twilight Highlands. And that PvP event does need to be completed for you to get this little buff right here. If you can see it, I'll zoom in on it. But
do we have this buff
right here is actually a buff that gives you 1,000 spell power and 400 attack.
We don't have this buff.
Goes out as long as your faction has won or completed this PvP event. So while he was turning in his quest hack, his friends went over here and completed this event. But that's not even all that went into leveling.
Yeah, we see he has some help. He has a mage.
That he also has thorns on him, and there are 2 druids standing here just permanently putting on thorns, just
because it has a 30-second cooldown and it lasts 20 seconds.
With spell power, and thorns count as your own damage. So if you have a mage that's just arcane explosioning permanently, as well as another shaman that's helping you out, you are still doing 50% of the HP of the mobs, even if you're not even really hitting them, because of how hard that thorns hits. Now, it's important to know that you need to do at least 50% of the HP of mobs if you want to get full experience from them. And that's not even the only thing. Again, one more major thing that's kind of crazy, and I never saw this happen before. It's tech that I believe he came up with himself, is that if you have a warlock and a mage duel each other, you see the mage casting Arcane Explosion right in the middle.
Now we're getting
If
into
he is
weird stuff.
technically in a duel with a warlock at the time, and the warlock casts Curse of Elements on the mage, every time the mage casts Arcane Explosion,
spreads
it will then put Curse of Elements up on all of the targets. So during
this is so
entire
smart.
farm, he is buffed by over 1,000 spell power, has gigabuff thorns on him the entire time, and all of the mobs are getting debuffed with Curse of Elements.
Holy.
So he is able to do, as you can see, 13 million XP an hour in this location.
13 million XP per hour. How much do we need? Wait. We don't even need 1 million to level up. Yeah, never mind. We need 9 million actually. We need 9 million to level up. So in an hour, he does more than the level 84 to level 85. This is insane.
Until Blizzard decided
this got
it should be
nerfed.
hotfixed while he was at level 84. Now you'll notice right
It
now,
was way too
just
late,
out of
84.
nowhere, the mobs stopped giving experience.
Ah.
Legitimately. Blizzard hotfixed this to no longer give
now they don't give
experience.
anything.
In the middle of his run, he was already 84, and most people were about level 82 that were in the race world first, almost 83 or slightly 83. He is significantly ahead at this point. So with this happening, and once you notice that the XP is plummeting from your 13 million an hour, and his next strategy was to move on somewhere very close to this area, because he realized during his testing that the tanks in this area, if you take out these tank mobs right in the middle, even though they have 3 kind of engineers healing them the whole time, if you take out the tank themselves, it will instantly nuke all of the ads that are working on the tank, and you'll get experience for all 4 of the targets. So as you're seeing in the background,
actually a
he's
great
getting
thing.
XP for everything, and these things respawn at a ridiculous rate again as well, because not only are they for a quest, but they're also part of a PvP event. So now he moved to doing this as an XP farm, but there's one other issue here, and that's that Blizzard was watching again. They literally nerfed this farm as well, making it so that these mobs now were giving 0 experience. And this is kind of gonna suck for people that end up questing or leveling here, because now all of these give 0 experience as well, and some other people found his location. So now we had to figure out what to do, how he was going to try to still make it to level 85.
He's gonna go in deep home,
and this is where Plan C comes into action, heading all the way to Deep Home. And here in Deep Home, he was farming the mobs, getting about 6 million experience per hour. Just
That's
as a
actually
reference,
really good.
if you're doing normal questing, you're getting somewhere between 1 and 3 million XP an hour. This is 6 million XP an hour that he's getting just farming the mobs in Deep Home, as well as we saw some other players that were relatively close.
Okay, now he's
in
alone,
the
though.
Race to World first.
His friend is not helping him
Who
anymore.
were able to get around 6 million to 7 million XP an hour as well. Now, there are ways of getting more experience than this, and I will have a video breaking down what are the highest XP per hour farms in the entirety of Cataclysm, at least until hopefully Blizzard doesn't patch them. And if you think all of this preparation is crazy, just listen to this bit from LMGD himself.
Oh, he's not fucking
The
done.
thing is that my prep for World First of Wrath was so much more than this. Like, if you think this is crazy, like, I've never told you a story what I did for Wrath World First, and that was 10 times more complicated.
Oh no.
That was literally 10 times more complicated.
And what a redemption arc, a revenge
I thought he was
arc
gonna
after
explain it.
losing the
Oh my
level
God.
80 race in Wrath of the Lich King to a farm very similar to the one he did here today, but it did not get patched that time. So huge grats one more time, LMGD, you did it. And guys, if you want to see some more Cataclysm content, make sure to let me know in the comments. The world's first level
man.
80.
Good job to him. You know, he put a lot of sweats into it. I guess he deserves it. I'm just sad that they had to nerf his spot, and because of that, probably someone else would have gotten the world first instead of him if they all farmed in Deep Home, because this is what probably the other speedrunner did. So he was at an advantage using an exploit, and it's kind of sad. But he did put the hours in. He was prepared. and it wasn't the game, so I don't blame him. I don't blame him for farming mobs that exist in the game.